Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is TDT, the Developing Trader, coming back at you again with another video. So here we go, jumping off here with the US dollar. Let's take a look at what's going on. Now, when we were making these projections, there were not bombs dropping over in Iran. So, forgive me if things seem to have flipped a bit on this 3-month chart. We were bearish on this after this institutional order flow entry drill, and price was hanging below here, but as you can see, it has snapped back into this FEG and is now trying to push up, and it may want to visit back into some of these levels here inside of this gap, mainly the consequent encroachment. We want to see if it has the strength to get up in there, if it can get these highs that are sitting here at this immediate level right here. But we're going to watch the levels on this wick that you see here on the 3-month and see if it has the strength to get all the way up. Let's look at our monthly, and you can see we were waiting to see if price can get into this monthly gap. It has done so handsomely, pushing in there and also taking some liquidity on the month of, this is December, and in January it is taking that liquidity above and is now rejecting, and it's back inside of that gap. So let's take a look at the weekly and see here we had a really strong push here, went and grabbed liquidity, filling in these gaps above the market. This here is looking like it can be a target. If it comes back into that area, we want to see if it can also respect this gap here where price is rejected quite a few times. So it may want to come back in here, run this level, also running this gap at the same time, and we'll see if it can maintain that strength. If it first can get above the gap that's sitting in here, it's already taken all of these liquidity levels and now it's pulling back. Let's jump into our daily, and you'll see we were looking at this gap on our weekly projections, and we were actually looking for these gaps below to be filled, namely this gap here. On that projection, I was saying that we are looking to see if price can get below this gap, and as you can see, it has done the complete opposite. So this is where we're sitting right now. We'll see if price can get back into this gap here going into tomorrow's price action, and maybe we'll get a further run. That remains to be seen. We have NFP on Friday, so I would just stay on the sidelines and see what happens, and then moving into next week, see where we're at after all the smoke is cleared. So let's jump on over to NQ. All right, and now looking at NQ, quick recap here. We were looking at this 3-month FEG, seeing if price wants to get back into that. Also looking at this liquidity that was sitting here below the market, seeing if we could reach in for this. And on the weekly, we were talking about this gap that I said kept supporting price. You can see the consequent encroachment here, giving a lot of respect on those bodies. Dipped in, rejects, comes back, dips in once again, takes this liquidity. So on the last video, I told you that this liquidity was in danger, as well as this liquidity sitting here. But as you can see, price took that liquidity and it just continues this consolidation, but with a lot of strength to the top side moving into this week. Now let's look at our daily real quick, and you will see that price has given us this bullish push that I keep telling you guys I just didn't think that NASDAQ was done with higher prices, and you can see it just keeps giving us that push back up, not wanting to break those levels below. But look at the consolidation in this market, ladies and gentlemen. Let's just take a look here. Like, hats off to everyone that's been trading this thing all year. It's been quite a ride. So much consolidation going in since we've been into this year. Let me find January 1st real quick. January 2nd was our first trading day. Just back and forth, back and forth. Gives us a little push. Doesn't go all the way to all-time highs. We get this internal run, and our price is just crunching back and forth. Brutal price action. And I keep telling you guys, every liquidity drive, you got to take profit, because moves like this is exactly what I was talking about, where it looks like it wants to go all the way and then it pulls all the way back. It's been doing that all year, and you guys got to remember to protect your capital if you're in these positions and you see an external drive. Take your profits and protect your capital. Move your stop losses. Do what you need to do. On this weekly, we had these equal highs that was immediately targeted after taking this liquidity from the prior week, as seen here. We take this liquidity from February 17th. We do not take the liquidity from the first week in February, and then we have a push up and we go seeking external on the top side. This is the full external run, but this is the entire week. This is Tuesday, this is Monday, and this is Friday. So all of those areas, liquidity was ran today to the top side, and it looks like it wants to keep moving up, and it may reach in and take this liquidity above the market here. It's already gotten above this gap. If you remember, as this candle turned around in the previous video, I wanted to see if we had any respect of that gap. It pushed below, pushes back up, pushes down again, takes liquidity, and now we're back above that gap in this consolidation. So let's see if we can get some respect on this gap going into the end of this week, and if it wants to go for the liquidity above the market after already taking this liquidity for the week. So that remains to be seen. That is what we will be looking for. It is NFP week, so let's see where it wants to take us, just like I was telling you on the US dollar. And I would really suggest that you just keep your powder dry for the rest of the week, unless you're an intraday technician like your boy. I'm just playing. But anyway, y'all have a good one. That's TDT. Y'all have a good one. All right, I'm out. Peace.